Hello folks, and thank you once again for watching this video by EPV Media YouTube channel. It's been a while since we interacted, but I'm back with new information on TVET related skill acquisition and education. As you know, our objective on this channel is to promote technical and vocational and ICT related skills and education, and of course businesses, because we think that the solution to the unemployment problem around the world, and particularly in Africa, is the acquisition of TVET, or technical and vocational and ICT related skills. And I have an interesting story that I want to tell you today that will confirm this. So if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do so now, so that you are updated on many information that will be provided on this channel regarding the acquisition of TVET skills and how to make businesses out of them. So just subscribe by clicking on the red subscription button below, and then you click on the notification bell, and that's it. Anytime we upload a new video, you will be informed. I've always been saying that one of the best way to learn or even acquire a TVET related skill, whatever skill it is that you are interested in, is on the internet. There's information on virtually every skill and anything that you would like to learn about. Whatever skill it is, you go on the internet and you get something to start with. Of course, the nature of some skills is such that you may have to have some physical training or education. By all means do so if you have to, but you get enough information on the internet that will help you think and broaden your knowledge and your skill. Let me tell you a story. And this person is a tiler. You know, people who lay tiles. Now this is somebody who learns tiling by attaching himself to a master craftsman, you know, a kind of on-the-job training, learned it for a couple of years, and then started his own business, and he was doing quite well. Then he got this lucrative contract to tile a couple of houses owned by an estate developer who was developing a small plot of land with a couple of houses on it. The client asked him to estimate how much it will cost, or how many tiles will tile the entire house, one house. You know, there were about 3 or 4 bedroom houses with other facilities, but he asked him to calculate how many tiles tile the entire house. He went around with his tape measure and whatever, did whatever he was supposed to do, and then gave the estimate to the client. The client went out with him, they bought the tiles, and he started work. Then somewhere along the line, he realized that his calculation wasn't right, that he was short of tiles. The tiles they bought would tile about 3/4 of what he was supposed to do, and so they had to buy more tiles. But then the client wasn't too pleased. You know, the problem was worsened when they went back to buy the tiles and realized that the particular tiles they were using was out of stock. So they had to compromise and buy the similar looking tile, but not exactly the same tile, and to complete the job. Then the client wasn't pleased at all. Then the second mistake he made was that, you know, there are some situations where people don't tile the entire walls. People tile the floors, and sometimes they tile the wall to about halfway to the roof, like what usually happens in washrooms, storerooms, etc. They just tile the wall halfway, but not entirely up to the roof. But what is supposed to be done is that when you tile halfway, you know, there will be space left between the tile and the wall itself. Yes, they use adhesives to hold the tile to the wall, but sometimes there are spaces left in between. So what you are supposed to do is to seal that space off, so that insects and roaches and things, cockroaches and other insects don't go in there and lay eggs and reproduce and all manner of things. But what this tiler did was, he tiled up to the wall. Because it was up there, nobody would really climb up to see. He left it, he didn't seal the space in between. Then I guess that's what he's been doing with most clients. Most clients don't really climb up to inspect those things, but this was a tough client who knew what was about and was quite experienced in construction industry. So he took a chair, stood on it, and looked at, you know, what is done halfway, then realized that he hadn't sealed off all the spaces. So he wasn't pleased with the teller, particularly with the excuse the teller gave, that this was how he normally does it. nothing will happen. It is something that a lot of people don't really care about. And the client was not amused with that, and so he fired him. I was amazed that for somebody who calls himself a professional tiler, and now these are basic things that you should know. You know, calculating the number of tiles you need to do a certain work should be one of the primary things that every tiler should know. So I decided to see if I can get information on this on the internet, and the amount of information I had was much more than I even needed. And I was wondering if this guy had taken the trouble to go on the internet and research on tiling. He would have got so much information that would have made him so much a better tiler. There was so much information for beginners and information for experts, creative tiling for experts, how to make your tiling look different, creative, and something that will attract others to want to use your services. So I will show you the kind of information I got on the internet. So I went to YouTube and typed in the essentials of tile laying. There were a lot of videos that I didn't even know which one to choose from. So I selected one of the shortest one and had almost all the information I needed. On this video, I got to know how you must check if the floor is susceptible to dampness or not and how to do it. That is, before you start any tiling job, you must, out of necessity, as a must, check if the floor is susceptible to dampness or not. Whatever job you get as a tiler, you know, it is dangerous to assume that the floor will be dry all the time. So you have to test whether the floor is susceptible to dampness or not, and there's a way to do it. I learned all this on the internet. And then the one that would have benefited this tiler if he had taken the trouble to learn a few tricks on the internet. How to measure the floor area to know the exact number of tiles to use, and how to do that, particularly if the room is not very squared, you know. And there were tricks of tiling. This is showing you tricks on how to tile a room that is not particularly squared. And I learned that for such room, it is better to start tiling from the center and finding a right angle in the center to start doing that. And all this was displayed on the video for me to understand what they meant by that. So, tiling from the center, and then the trick to finding the exact center and the right angle to start. All these things I never knew about tiling, but because of the information I got, you know, just in a few minutes or few hours of researching, I know that if I have to engage the services of a tiler, boy, that tiler better know his or her stuff, because I got so much information and I know what to be looking out for. There were information on the kind of tools to acquire, you know, various interesting tools and what it is supposed to do. And I was surprised because most of the tilers that I see around usually carry only two of the various tools that I saw there. So I wonder, how do they do the job where those tools are needed? And one thing I found out is that most often than not, when they get to situations where they have to use some of these tools that they normally do not carry, what they do is to compromise. So for instance, if they have to drill a hole in the tile where pipes can pipe through, or where plumbing works can pass through, what they usually do is they just crack it, break it somehow, make it look very nasty, and fix the tile, and the whole place look nicely with an ugly hole that they never close. Tiling that has been done, but with little, the finishing leaves a lot to be desired. And all this does not give a very good account of your work, that whatever work you do. And this applies to every skill that you want to acquire. You can get so much information on the internet. Even for experts, I typed in creative tile laying, and I had all these videos popping up that were showing or teaching creative tile laying skills, amazing tile laying skills. Now, if you are to acquire all these skills, you know, and learn how to lay tiles this creatively, you know, how can you ever run out of jobs? For this tiler I'm talking about, not only has he lost a contract, but probably other opportunities that could have come about as a result of this contract. Who knows what opportunities he has lost because he just couldn't complete this contract. Or who knows what opportunities would have come his way if he had executed this contract satisfactorily. Experience will teach you much, but you can acquire much more on the internet, where you learn to see how people do things differently, which makes your work different. A whole lot of interesting things that you can do and get yourself employable or even start a small business. This is where we end. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do so now. Just click on the red subscription button below, click on the notification bell, and when I upload my next video, you will be informed. Thank you so much, and remember, whatever skill you are interested in, you can get enough information or even acquire the skill on the internet. I'll be with you next week. Have a wonderful day and God bless.